Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Pals Pulls. I, of course, am your host, Sean, joined by Kale
Oh, it's me.
and Tyler.
Hello. I was gonna say
Yes,
something witty and then totally just got caffeine brain and it went nowhere. So
well played. That's okay. We're waiting for people to come on board on Twitch. We are live right now, twitch.tv/ the comics pals. In fact, we go live with Pals Pulls every single Wednesday at this time, 6 p.m. So come hang out with us if you are watching this at a later point. You'll be able to take part in the stream chat and review the books alongside us and maybe get tagged in comics tag. We are
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna be doing some of that. I got tagged by Marco
I'm glad he's
last
here
week.
to really follow
right.
up on that one.
Yeah,
He said, I'm gonna tag you, but I don't really care.
yeah. So that's fun. While we wait for people to get on here, I did have a quick question for you guys. Did you read anything other than the books that we had to read this week, or is there any book that we're not reading for the show that you're excited about?
I am catching up on a backlog. So
Me too.
I just read the most recent issue of Wolverine, I believe it was. So like the Moby Dick issue,
Yeah.
which had the same artist in it as King Spawn, which we'll talk about later.
Oh,
Which is
nice.
Javi Fernandez, which I really enjoyed. So it was like weird reading that. It's a main Wolverine story with an artist that was in another book, and we're doing X Lives of Wolverine and King Spawn. So it was like this weird transitional thing. But yeah, Wolverine, it's good stuff.
Little crossover action there. What about you, Kale? Just Saga?
Uh, Boy, you know me. Yeah, it started Saga today at work. Boy, should I have started that sooner?
Are you having issues going through it or?
Oh yeah, time.
True. It's what, 50 something pages?
Well, and I just
or
don't have
issues.
time. I just don't have
54
time.
issues, yeah.
Yeah, 54 issues, and I work at a toy store, so I can't,
Oh,
not like you guys, so I can't, I have to be physically present at my job.
I don't know what you're talking about.
For me, I mean, I'm also working through a huge backlog, but the book that I'm like, I wish we did for this show instead of another book that we chose to do is Catwoman. I think it's issue, what is it? 49, 39,
Is this the new
something
creative
like
team?
that. Yeah, Teeny Howard coming on board. So
Oh, word.
yeah, they actually the cover that is a reference to Batman Returns Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer, that cover's going for like they're selling it for like $18 in comic shops, which is nuts. It's supposed to retail for like $5. So it's already like a huge deal.
I hate that shit. If we're gonna
Yeah,
talk
me
about
too.
like this is one of the reasons why I left, physical comics behind is like the fact that that comic shops are selling variants that should be cover price. It's not even along those like 1 out of 100 variants. Those make sense because you have to order a certain amount to get those. Or like when a comic shop's like, oh, this is a first appearance issue and we found out about it on Tuesday.
Right.
And they can, you're like, oh, I don't mind where it's like maybe one per customer, like do something like that. But when they start hiking the prices, I'm like, yeah, guys, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a little slimy, but comic stores have to make their money somehow, right?
I mean,
Uh
if they can.
if they can, exactly. Well, let's talk about the books that we're going to be reviewing for you guys here throughout the show. I have today X Lives of Wolverine #1, got that sweet variant. I feel like this cover is way better than the main cover. But yeah, had to get
Who
that.
who is that variant?
This is
Baldeon?
Ron. Is it Baldeon? No, it's not. I don't think it's Baldeon. It's Israel Silva did the colors, and then the
Is that the Ron Lim one?
yeah, it's Ron Lim. Yep,
That's the
it's
Ron Lim one, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
believe
okay.
so. He signed it. Yeah, looks like it.
Nice.
What if it wasn't?
He signed it.
He
I
signed
can
it.
tell you right now. Hold on.
Listen,
This
hey,
is it's the limb variant. Yeah, man, his shit evolved.
it sure did, right? I was like, wow,
That's
this cover is
very
actually
modern.
phenomenal.
It's not what
Show that one more
wow.
time.
Okay, interesting.
Yep. But is it as good as what's inside the book? That's what we're going to be talking about. We've got She-Hulk #1. I went with the classic.
It's Adam Hughes.
Yeah, I had to because
you can't go wrong.
the cover I wanted, they didn't have. You know what cover I
which
wanted.
one you wanted. Yeah.
I wanted that She-Hulk X-23, but they didn't have it. So next best thing, Ben Reilly Spider-Man #1. I really enjoy this cover. It is, of course, you guys know I love to get variants. This is one of the variants. I love it. Think it's great. And then last but far from least,
hold on. The medic mentions he thought you said ex-wives of Wolverine.
You could do a book. Yeah. You could do that book.
Yeah, they're all in hell. Apparently, I feel like that's where everyone Wolverine loves goes to.
I thought this was a polygamy X-Men podcast. I'm out of here.
And then last but not least is King Spawn #6. And last but not least,
you got that variant. I saw that in the back of the digital issue, and I had to stare at it for a little while. Like that's a good cover.
That's the one I tweeted out. I like that cover more.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, say whatever you want to say about Spawn comic books. When it comes to the art, when it comes to the covers, immaculate every week. Let's jump right in. Oh, before we do, actually, just referring to the comments real quick. Martin Viva says, "What's good, comic pals?" Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot is good. Some of these comics are good, and I want to say I think you guys might be surprised as to what my book of the week is this week.
Interesting.
Yeah. Matt Murphy says the 3 dick issue. That's a rumor. It's not true. Let's not even give that life.
If you want discussion about that, listen to the most recent episode of the Comics Pals.
Yes,
and probably next week too.
Yeah, by the way, that does drop every single Monday on all platforms, live at 10 a.m. every single Saturday, right here on Twitch. If you guys are tuning in on Twitch right now, the Hill Twins, what's up, my guys? Big fan here, big fan of you. Thank you so much. Isaiah, Harris from the Discord made it. X Lives of Wolverine. I'm keenly interested in that one. Well, we're going to be diving into it with full spoilers here in just a moment, so you will know what happens in the issue. The medic, didn't Logan take over hell at one point? So he still ruled over his wives.
What Marvel character hasn't had an arc where they went to hell? Like,
right? I think I've seen everyone in hell.
Huh? Spider-Man had a hell book?
I mean, he had significant interactions with Mephisto.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
That's
with the
and then the Ben Reilly Spider-Man was a hell of a time to read, but
I guess hell doesn't have to be fire and brimstone.
Right. I think hell was depicted as like a casino at one point. I don't remember.
That's a Doctor Strange book. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Kale, you don't have to go with your Texas, religious view of hell. We can expand upon that.
Listen, it's all I know.
Yeah, well,
all I know.
We're trying. We're trying here.
Well, let's jump into X Lives of Wolverine #1. I'll flash that cover one more time because I love it so much.
Please only be the cover you're flashing.
Listen, man, I'm not Wolverine.
It's still early.
It's you're right. It is early. Benjamin Percy writing this one. Joshua Cassara on art. Frank Martin did the colors. Corey Pettit on letters and production. Tom Muller, of course, the designer of all the X books. This is the hotly anticipated series that is kind of the closing the gap between the end of the Hickman era with Inferno #4 and the Destiny of X era. So this is what's leading us into that. There's a lot of speculation about what this series between X Lives and X Deaths is actually going to be about. I do think this issue gives us a little bit more clarity, but a lot less clarity than I thought I was going to get. It's not the House of Powers #1 explosion that people might have expected, but I think there's probably a lot of meat on the bone, more than we necessarily are aware of based on just this first issue. Tyler, what did you make of this issue?
First of all, I'm enjoying the Wolverine solo book currently. I kind of like how it's kind of doing its own thing within the Krakoan thing, because Wolverine is doing his own thing. And this honestly feels like more of an event for the Wolverine book than it does for the greater X-Men mythos. I enjoyed it. I really like Joshua Cassara's art, and I think it works very, very well for a Wolverine book.
Yeah.
It's dirty. It's a little muddy at points too, but he draws like the gore and grime of Wolverine's existence really well. And Frank Martin on colors, like, you put Frank Martin on any colors, and I'm like, yeah, I'll read that.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it really is. And while you're talking, I do want to flash a few pages, like Omega Red. Like, let's get into that.
Let's get into how good he was right there. Bringing that back. But he like
never left.
No, never left. Trust me, never left. But yeah, I mean, and Benjamin Percy has a real good voice for Logan because he doesn't make him talk that much. Like, even throughout this whole Wolverine run, Logan's kind of a very solitary, very cerebral character. That his outward expression is really non-existent. It's mostly the supporting cast, either for the individual issues or the entire story he's telling that really talks throughout it. And this is, it's really fun. I liked Omega Red. I will read a book when Omega Red's in it. He's one of my favorite characters because I don't really know much about him. I just had an action figure as a kid, and I played a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom. So I have like this Omega Red was like popular around the time that I was kind of getting into comics. I really enjoyed it. I have an idea of what the purpose of this is. This seems like it's going to be some kind of mind meld between Wolverine and Charles, so that Charles can then, I don't know, tap into Wolverine's centuries old memory to maybe find more mutants that they can resurrect. That's kind of that's the only thing I can think of. I don't know if what the lasting effects are, but hey, I'm in for the ride. It's fun.
That's an interesting thought. Kale, what about you? What did you make of this book?
So upon basically up to the end, I wasn't crazy about the initial story that we were getting, because it kind of started as one of these books where it was like, Logan has been part of the whole thing all along. He was even there when Xavier was born. It was destiny.
That was in the same boat at the beginning, yeah.
But it still sort of plays it that way to me. But I think it, as you get through it, you sort of realize there's other stuff going on. So I was able to set aside my feelings to get to the meat of it, I think. But yeah, the art, incredible. It reminded me, this issue specifically reminded me of the Wolverine Origins book from, I just looked it up.
Was that Millar?
It might have been Millar. It was Kubert for sure.
Yeah.
No, Paul Jenkins.
Okay.
Anyway, but specifically by the art. The sort of muddy colors, the old timey look about everything, and obviously because it's an old timey time period, but that the Wolverine Origins book is one that I love. So I was very intrigued and very into the art. I like who's the penciler again? Sorry.
The
Joshua
penciler
Cassara?
is
Cassara.
Cassara. Yep.
Yeah, there are times when it's weird. It straddled this line between Lanil Yu and then in like the Xavier Mansion bits, there were times when he looked a bit like Marcos Martin or Paulo Rivera.
Interesting. Thanks, Silent Duck, for the host. He's hosting our stream again. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this. I thought this was really good. Wolverine is a character who, whenever you read a Wolverine comic, there are certain things that you want, right? Like you want it to get bloody, you want it to be, this warrior, this samurai who's a loner, who's willing to put his body, his mind, sometimes his soul through hell to achieve whatever his goal is. This story so far is like that one story where he has to accompany that girl to Japan or through Japan. I forget the name of it.
Wolverine Origins, the movie, or
no, there's a comic. There's a comic like that. I can't remember what it is.
Movie.
This is like
Rivera. Yeah.
This is like that on crack, right? This is like that on 10. Literally, this is that on X. And
it's
getting to see Omega Red again.
I get it now. There was some wordplay there.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you.
Marvel
Appreciate
editorial. Good wordplay
there. Getting to see Omega Red again is awesome. I can't remember the last time that he was in a comic, even though I'm sure this isn't actually him, and there's some kind of screwy stuff going on.
Sean, are you reading Wolverine?
No.
Okay, so I can give you context. He's been throughout that story.
Oh, okay, good, great.
Yeah.
He's a vampire now, and the X-Force kind of interrogated him to get more information on vampires, and then killed him and brought him back. But they brought him back with like a surveillance chip inside of him and lied to him. So that's what that beginning is, where he just friggin' cold clocks gold balls. We'll say that 5 times fast. And then reveals
cold clocks, gold balls, cold clocks, gold balls, cold clocks, gold balls. It gets it. You get a real rhythm into it.
I guess
cold
so.
Clocks,
You said
clocks, gold balls.
Gold.
You
cocks,
said cold
balls?
clocks, cold cocks. That's what you said. Cold cocks.
Cold cocks, gold balls.
Cold cocks, gold balls. Cold cocks, gold balls.
Anyway,
all right.
So
would the balls be gold? Yeah.
Okay.
Cold.
I mean,
right.
and this, I'm in Buffalo, New York right now. Mine are constantly cold.
Cold.
But so that is him revealing, like he discovers, like, oh yeah, they fucking lied to me. It's on, and he is in league with Mikhail, which is Colossus's brother, who also made Colossus a mole with the Quiet Council. So things are piecing together here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's totally a vampire with like Dracula too, and that thing, and like that's what the Russia is dealing with. And in the Avengers stuff with Jason Aaron, there are like 2 parts of Russia, and I think the vampires control all of. Where's the nuclear fallout happening with Ukraine? It was in
real life.
In real life, Chernobyl. I believe the vampires control Chernobyl now, and it's like New Transylvania or something.
Wow, awesome.
And Blade's a sheriff. There's a lot of vampire stuff going on, and there's your recap of.
All right.
Of stuff.
It's all that in Avengers?
Yeah, that happened in Avengers, yeah. So there's some
I want
actual
to read
connection.
that shit.
Yeah. Okay, so based on your expertise, do you believe that this is really Omega Red? Like, do you think Omega Red is chasing him through time?
No. Do I believe that's Omega Red? No, I don't believe that's him. I think this is some kind of. I think this is Cerebro interpreting it in Wolverine's head somehow, and maybe Omega Red's kind of got into Cerebro somehow, like a virus.
Okay.
It almost reads like a danger room situation, some kind of weird thing going on. That's how I'm reading it.
Right. Yeah. Likewise. Similarly, I was excited to see Sabretooth a little later on as kind of like a teaser for what's going to come in the next issue. This is just a lot of fun. And I can see how this could end up feeling, not really relevant down the road. I can see that. But I think if it continues to be this, it'll be worth every single purchase. It's just really beautiful from a visual standpoint, and you don't need a lot from a Wolverine comic. I think this was great.
Yeah. I think the Spawn books can learn from these Wolverine books, where it's like
Spawn books could learn from Ben Percy
a lot, or like just keep it simple. Like Wolverine it's a pretty straightforward formula, and I think this is kind of keeping to it.
Shit, how about Ben Percy on Spawn? What about that?
Okay.
That would mean that McFarlane has to give up some kind of creative control there, and I don't know when that's going to happen.
Speaking of Spawn, that's going to be on our docket today as well. Let us know what your pick of the week is this week if you have read these books, and if you haven't, which book are you most excited about, whether that's based on our conversation or just what you're looking forward to. Make sure you put that in the comments if you're on Twitch or wherever it is that you're listening to this show right now. Do you guys say pick this, pull this, or pass on it, or trade weight it? I say pull it.
I'm with you.
Pull it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's good looking.
Absolutely.
If you like Wolverine, pull it. If you're not much of a Wolverine guy, then maybe it's not for you. But also, why are you then looking at a book with Wolverine on the title?
Right. Matt says Logan by BKV and Riso.
That's a book?
Maybe? I don't know.
That sounds
honestly.
good.
Yeah, that could be good. Have you read it? Yeah, of course, Marco. Percy on Spawn would be fire.
Marco, you're on vacation right now. What are you doing?
Yeah, Marco's in the chat.
He's not even.
He's on vacation. You're on vacation, and you're in the chat. That means to me that you need to get your ass on this recording and review some comics.
Oh, I'm thinking the opposite. I'm thinking go spend time with your wife.
or that. I'd be on the show. I'd be doing the show.
Okay.
Fucking,
all right.
It's like fucking working at a grocery store and coming in and buying stuff anyway.
On your day off, yeah.
Yeah, on your day off, or you call in sick.
Oh, he's in a jacuzzi currently. That explains a lot then.
That's great. So then you give us a great visual, right?
Hot tub stream. There we go. That's a big thing.
Exactly. Now. We could label this a hot tub stream. We'd have 5, 6, 7 times the amount of viewers that we have.
That's true. That's true.
Letting us down.
Let's see that nice svelte body of yours, Marco. Let's go. All right, Sean, you want to talk about
mole rat body?
Speaking of bodies, let's talk about Jenny the Body, She-Hulk, #1. Rainbow Rowell, the writer of this one. Roj Antonio on art. Rico Renzi on colors, and Joe Caramagna did the letters here. I haven't read She-Hulk anywhere other than Empire in a really long time. So it was cool to kind of get back into She-Hulk's character. This finds her at a very, I guess, interesting place in her life, even though it just is a reset. But I was surprised by how much I enjoyed this book. I think She-Hulk is a ton of fun, actually, as a character. And I love how she's not nearly as serious as you might think she would be. Like, as serious as Daredevil is, and they're very similar, which is why they often cross paths. But in terms of their jobs, right? He's a lawyer. He's a superhero. He often wants to defend the disenfranchised people of New York. And a lot of times his law intersects with his justice. That's the same thing for She-Hulk, right? Except for the part where She-Hulk is just a hot mess of a person who just isn't to be taken that seriously, except when she hulks out, in which case you're in danger. The last main She-Hulk book I read was I believe it was Mariko Tamaki run. And that was very serious. That was She-Hulk after she was traumatized by the stuff that went down in Civil War II. That was an amazing run for different reasons. But
it's funny. I was traumatized after Civil War II as well. So it was nice to see that in a book itself.
I felt the cathartic nature of Jennifer turning into She-Hulk during that run and smashing faces. That was me.
At the end of Civil War II, I was turning gray myself. So
you're right.
And my pants wouldn't fit either, but that was a different reason. That's just I was getting fat. But
speaking of pants not fitting, there's a great gag in this issue where Jennifer's like poor now for whatever reason. can't make sense of that.
I can catch you up.
Okay.
She was in Jason Aaron's Avengers. She was permanently hulked out. And she was just kind of doing superhero shit. And then she, I guess, was fighting the Russians. There's a lot of Russians in Marvel Comics right now. And then got ate a gamma bomb and saved at Atlantis. And then was able to finally de-Hulk. And now she's just trying to restart her life. She was like stuck in Hulk form. So
Right. Yeah.
And then she left the Avengers, and here we go.
That makes sense considering all the crazy that happened to her in Empire and before, I guess.
Yep.
This is Rainbow Rowell's first comic?
No.
Okay.
Rainbow Rowell has been doing or had previously done the Runaways, most recent volumes of Runaways, which is fantastic.
Right.
That was like the first time Runaways really felt like proper Runaways. I would say almost even better than the BKB stuff. It's really, really good.
Wow.
Wow, that's high praise.
Yeah, and also didn't hurt that they had Chris Anka on art for a bit there.
That'll do it.
Doing character design. So yeah, I'm a fan.
I just love whenever you can get a writer who's kind of fresh, with a different perspective on things. This was a lot of fun. It really was.
Yeah, and Rainbow Rowell, I believe, is a YA writer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And usually it's that transition can be a little bumpy going from, fiction, especially like YA stuff, to superhero comics, really. But even like...
But I feel like, your first major book being The Runaways is like, that's a slam dunk.
Yep. And because she had Rainbow Rowell had character dynamics down pat for Runaways.
Right.
Yeah.
And then doing what I think like 30 plus issues, like a decent friggin' run on that. And then going to superhero books is like, all right, they understand the format now really well. And then like the art in this definitely helped. There's some real good storytelling in the art itself, like just little beats that are they're so She-Hulk in a way.
Yeah.
The ones that jump out to me in this are when She-Hulk is confronted by Titania and then takes her heels off, and it's 3 panels, one of her standing, the next one is her taking her heels off, and the next one is her standing again, but she's shorter. It's just like, that's like, you can only really do that in comics. It's such a comic book thing. Or even the bit where you see the stop sign put back in the floor into the street. It's like these silent bits that are just, it's perfect. I really enjoyed this book a lot.
Yeah, these are the kinds of comics that I buy this if I'm not on the show, just because I really like She-Hulk. But a lot of times I miss books like this, like Thing, for example, that we have praised a lot, is a book I miss if I'm not doing this podcast. And just a breath of fresh air. This is such a good comic, to the point where, whatever like implications, there's some heavy implications at the end of this. The return of Jack of Hearts. That's pretty crazy. The last time I saw Jack of Hearts is the last time everybody else saw him, at the end of Avengers Disassembled.
Which is what,
right?
20 years ago?
That's 20 years ago. Yeah.
That's the end of the beginning of Bendis's Avengers run.
I would say it's the beginning of modern comics, like this age of comics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely,
which is why they were able to kind of keep him off the board. It's also Jack of Hearts, so like I also get how they were able to keep him off the board. One of the best and worst superhero costumes of all time. Seeing that at the end, I was like, oh boy, let's see where this goes.
That has a lot of implications, but like, even putting all that aside, this is just a great comic. I love seeing She-Hulk in the bath, just like totally relaxed, having fun.
Hold on there, buddy. Hold on.
Well, did you think we were just going to walk past that? What?
Yeah,
I kind of did.
And I heard you think about what you were going to say.
I mean, I liked it,
All right, Quentin Tarantino with that feet shot. All right. That page was directed by Quentin Tarantino. I saw that coming from a mile away.
For Sean.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't have a foot obsession.
No, you have a
Oh,
foot
lucky
fetish.
you.
It's completely different.
I don't have a foot fetish.
All right. I'm not. I mean, I could
right.
probably hashtag foot fetish on YouTube. I'm sure we'll get some hits on that. So thanks, Sean. Thanks for letting me get that hashtag.
Listen, we'll take it.
Oh yeah, we'll take it.
Listen, okay, so if there's a chance,
Okay,
right?
oh boy, where are we going with this?
Every part of a woman who is, whatever, 8 feet tall and giant and green
He's got a giant
is going
fetish.
to be. I don't have a giant fetish. I don't have a giant fetish.
Yep.
Sounds like something a guy who has a giant fetish would say.
How could you possibly even have a giant fetish? Okay, that's not true. There are not. It's not that there are no giant women out there. There are. I don't have a giant fetish.
It depends on your height, like it's all relative.
Listen, every time I talk about a woman character on this show that I enjoy, it always comes down to this. I like cheetah, so I must be a fucking furry.
I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
it's not true, guys.
What's your opinion on Tigra? We talked about Tigra that one time. She showed up in Moon Knight.
I love Tigra. Tigra is awesome.
Saying there's kind of a thread going on here. I'm just following it. I'm just trying to follow that thread. Matt says, Sean, welcome to the club. Yep, there we go. That's how I know. If I
I'm
know
not in any club.
If I know someone who's into giant women, I can smell it. I smell it on you. I have that scent already. I know what it smells like.
Wait, whoa! Why do you have this? Why do you have the scent on?
Because I did a podcast in person with Matthew P.L. Murphy for 4 years.
What does the PL stand for? Peter Lawrence?
Yeah, that's his middle names. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was something like gross, like porn lover.
Honestly,
I mean, that could be, right?
Tracks. That definitely tracks.
Oh, man. All right.
So past the feet. Let's get past the feet. At least that's not your sole reason for liking this book.
No. I outlined plenty of reasons why I really enjoyed it.
That went over his head, Kale. I'm glad you got it. There you go.
Kale, did you? Yeah, you didn't share your thoughts about this issue. Go for it.
This was very much a first issue for me. So I think my overall grade, for this will be a trade weight. I think I will like this, but I think for now there's a little bit too much table setting for me at the moment. In terms of like it is doing the issue 1 stuff, introduce the character, introduce her status, introduce the supporting cast, and then cliffhanger. It is very cookie cutter first issue. I will give you that. I think it does it well for what it is. I don't disagree, but it wasn't necessarily enough to keep me interested.
Fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the other thing, though, when you're talking about She-Hulk, especially with the show on the horizon, there really does have to be, a modern run that people can access and go to that is kind of like a table setter. Prior to this, you read that Mariko Tamaki run, like that's not for the faint of heart. So, one thing I noticed too is that I don't know if it's a retcon, but they made Jennifer Walters shorter. I don't know if this is to make it more Tatiana Maslany's height, because I believe she's relatively short.
Very small.
Yeah,
she's very small.
But I always pictured like Jen being like still tall even outside of Hulk form. So that perfectly fine with it. I mean, that's a thing maybe people don't notice. But I thought that was a little interesting bit there. Well. Shifting gears from Jenny from the block. Before we do that, actually, do you guys pull it or pass? I was my pick of the week. Oh, so, yeah, okay. I say pull it.
Trade weight it for me.
I say pull it. Yeah, definitely.
Much like Sean when he got to the foot page. Pull it.
Oh my god! You're barking up the wrong tree, man. I'm telling you. Again, pull it. It's great. Let's talk about Ben Reilly Spider-Man #1.
Do we have to?
We sure do. I mean, we could always just talk about Catwoman.
I didn't read it, so we can't.
I mean, we could.
We can, though. No, we can still talk about it.
I have thoughts on this. I have thoughts on this book. So,
all right. Jam DeMatteis is the writer here, with art by David Baldion, Israel Silva on colors, and Joe Caramagna did the letters. So the first thing I noticed when I opened up this book was the name J.M. DeMatteis. And I said, okay, cool. The second thing I noticed
when you first saw his name? Okay, cool. Yes.
The second thing I noticed was years ago, ... And whenever I see years ago, I tend to want to put the book down. I'm not going to lie. The reason is because I know that whatever I'm about to see is probably irrelevant, especially when it's a writer whose prime has passed and they're dealing with a character that they wrote in their prime in a story that is taking place at the time where they were in their prime. All of that is a concoction for a book that I generally don't want. That being said, this book, I mean, it really wasn't good. I'm not going to lie. Like, it really lived up to every single aspect of that concoction. I'm sorry.
I'm with you where, like, DeMatteis is, like, an important writer.
Yes.
100%. But I think his form of storytelling doesn't really mesh well with modern comic book storytelling, which is not to say it's not readable. I think it's completely readable. The only problem is it's a lot of reading. It's a little too internal. I feel like most comics these days aren't as heavy with the narration boxes. Like I feel like going from thought bubble to narration boxes is the most modern this book made, got between writing and the page. I don't tend to like anachronistic books like this because I tend to start thinking about timelines and getting really confused. Like, right. Oh, this is set between, directly after the Clone Saga. Why does this person have a MacBook? Like, I start thinking about stuff like that. And then I get in my head and then I start having an existential crisis. I'm like, when was the 90s? Oh, that was 20 plus years ago. How old am I? I'm turning 30 this year. Like, this is where the book kind of gets me. And I'm out of it by then. I'm out of the book. I'm gone. And also it makes me think about, like, do we really need a story about one of the times of Spider-Man's lore that most people don't care much for? Like, I don't know.
I kind of kept waiting for a jump to the future.
Right.
So I said this before we got on, and I should have saved it. I don't know why I didn't. But because Ben Reilly's been back in the zeitgeist, I've been like, yeah, I can go for a Ben Reilly book. Yeah, hell yeah. So I was kind of excited about this, and then I kept reading.
and read it.
I like the thing about this is, like, I don't want to read a book about someone who is mad that he's not someone else, and that's his only thought.
It is very one note when you bring it up that way. Yeah.
I'm not Peter Parker. I'm not Peter Parker. I'm not Peter Parker. I'm not Peter Parker.
And the thing is that Ben Reilly as a character, like, if you pick up Amazing right now, you will see a Ben Reilly who has grown past that in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
So what reason is there to release a comic book about a regressed character who can't grow in the comic book you're releasing right now? Like, no matter what happens here, there are certain things that must occur that will lead to his growth. His growth cannot happen here. So why am I reading this book? And then, to make matters worse, you brought up the excess dialogue. I opened a random page and this is what I found. Like, that's absurd, for a comic book that's coming out in 2020 and none of the dialogue hits. None of it hits, but there's so much of it. Like, if you're not going to hit, you can say it in less words. Like, if it's just going to be BS, just do it quick. Get it over with fast. If I'm not going to enjoy it, if this is not for me, do it fast.
Also, I like the mention of dating apps being around during the Clone Saga. Like,
right. What is going on?
There are
like,
ways around
everyone has
time.
flat screens.
Yeah, there are ways around it.
I was there, and I didn't know about a flat screen. Who had flat screen TVs?
That
In
WWE playing Super Smash Brothers Melee. That's what I was doing.
That's right. The closest thing I ever saw was that big Titantron they had in WWE. That's it. That's it. There were no flat screens. So,
I do have one thing I liked about this book.
Yeah, go ahead.
The idea that Scorpion carries around live scorpions as a calling card.
Yeah.
And plants them in his victims' rooms like that weird worm from Attack of the Clones. So stupid. I was like, all right, that's fine. I get it. Let's go.
And you know what? When the comic book was close to its end, I was like, all right, this was fine. Like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna blast it. Then I saw the Scorpion. And I was like, don't tell me that this is a precursor to the Scorpion villain appearing. They're not going to do that. And then they did that. At what point?
Yeah.
Like,
it was like and then they resolved it one page later. Like,
I'm not a Scorpion aficionado, okay? I don't know if there's anyone out there who claims that, but I don't.
They're called Mac Marks, actually. Yeah.
Garganites. Is
that a small soldiers reference?
Yes.
Right,
yes.
Man, there we go.
You're the man.
There we go.
Garganoils.
We had something, Kale.
Well,
and then what was that?
Kyle is.
That's who I wish was here. I wish Kyle was here over you.
Nobody has ever said that. Nobody's wished for a Kyle to be anywhere.
Kyle.
Well,
many Kyles in the chat.
Who's ever wished for a Kale, right?
At least one person.
Who?
My wife, I think.
I'm not so sure. We've had her on the show. We know what she thinks.
Yeah, same.
And then Carrion as the villain. The best part of this comic book features Carrion, which is these 2 pages right here. This art is phenomenal. Right?
He got better booking than the WWE's Carrion in this issue. So.
Oh yes, you're absolutely, that man got buried.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
A chat by Matthew Peel Murphy. They call my dick the Garganite because it's the smallest of soldiers. All right, guys, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a fun podcast.
We're fostering. Jesus. All right.
Pass.
It's
I can't.
Your community.
It's our community.
I mean, he brought it.
It's.
I can't.
Yeah, I'd pass too.
I can't recommend this comic book.
It's funny because the book that we want is coming out, where Ben Reilly is like the Spider-Man of Los Angeles. Like, we're getting that sometime this year.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me. Like, I will probably even read that still, even after reading this. But, like, I don't know who this is for besides J.M. DeMatteis himself. Like, I don't know.
That's my thing.
Does he have some dirt on editorial that we don't know about? Like, how does this get made? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm big on the point, of a book. What is the point? Why is this worth reading? And I'm not so sure what the answer to that is here. Like, there's just not a point. What are you supposed to get out of this?
It's funny because I think we have Symbiote Spider-Man, which is another one of those like out of continuity stories that's currently going on. That's pretty good.
Is it still going?
I believe it is. Yeah. It's just telling stories about Spider-Man when he had the black suit on.
Is that DeMatteis?
I don't know. I don't think it's him. I think that's like more of a modern team.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I've heard decent things about. I don't know if I don't think Matt's reading that, but I've heard decent things online about it. Which like there's a space for it, but I think there's some finesse you need to do there. That's not here. Yeah, I would not pull it.
Same. Yeah. To be honest, I like some of the art, but I don't know if it's
Oh yeah, it's by Peter David and Greg Land. Maybe I was misinformed then.
Modern,
right?
Very modern creative team.
I don't know if it's the way Baldion is colored, but some of like the shading and stuff on these characters, it takes a second to get used to. Like once you get into the book, it's not so bad, but once you like open those first couple of pages, it looks like a 2000s like computer comic book.
Yeah. I feel like Baldiano would do much better with flatter colors, honestly.
Yeah, similar to maybe colored by like a Marta Gracia, in a similar vein to a Pepe Larraz.
Yeah, if we could just clone Marta Gracia, like I saw that they're cloning pets. I saw that pet cloning is running rampant. So why can't we just accelerate rampant? Yeah. It's becoming
you're a rich
common.
person, yeah. And it's really just the one DNA from some kind of caca shit that they wanted to, those small white dogs that
the
rich people have?
Yeah.
Caca shit.
Couldn't help himself. Well, Disney's rich. Clone Marta Gracia.
They're still working on Walt, honestly.
Yeah.
But when they keep bringing him back, he just instantly starts saying anti-Semitic shit. So they have to keep starting from scratch. Yeah, but
anti-union. It's not good.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about my pick of the week.
Oh, gross.
Let's talk about King Spawn, number 6. King Spawn, king of this week in comics, if you can believe that. Sean Lewis, the writer, with Todd McFarlane on additional dialogue. Art by Javi Fernandez. Colors by FCO Placencia with an assist by Ulysses Ariola. And letters by Ann World Design. Give it to me. Tell me now that this is a Spawn comic book that is legitimately good. Let me hear it. Kale, Tyler, say it now.
No.
You know what? I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the art a lot. I think Javi Fernandez is very good. I still don't know what's going on because I didn't read the previous ones, and that's on me.
Yeah, I don't have any fucking clue what's going on.
Sean, you've read all of these, right?
Yes.
Can I say what I think is happening?
Absolutely.
A whole bunch of demons think Spawn is their king, and they're trying to get him to become king? Is that a dumbed down version of it? And he's like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Get away from me."
Kind of. I think that the King Spawn designation is more like to separate him from all the other spawns, like as in terms of the name branding.
It's not a separate Spawn. This is still Al Simmons, right? Okay.
This is still Al Simmons, but within the story, that's kind of what's going on. And honestly, like, you don't need a ton of context for this issue. If you know who the characters are, which you probably do if you've been reading the movie, or if you watched the movie, not if you've been reading the movie.
Never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No.
What?
Oh,
never seen Spawn.
Dude, we have to have a movie night.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't like the clown. I'm sorry, especially John Leguizamo as him. Oof.
I don't even want to comics tag you. I want to make you watch that movie.
If I can get my wife to watch it, maybe.
How about that?
If you want to continue to be employed here, you've got to watch Spawn the movie.
Cutting the stream, guys.
Will you take that?
Is there a place I can watch it easily? Is it on HBO Max?
HBO Max, I'm pretty sure.
If it's on HBO Max, I'll check it out. If that's what you want your tag to be.
Yeah, I definitely do.
I'll watch it and I'll get back to you next week about what I thought of it.
Let's make it a thing. We'll work it out in the Discord. Let's make it a whole thing. We can watch it. We can have everybody press play at the same time, and that'll be fun.
I'm down.
Let's do that. Let's watch it together. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Do you guys watching or listening want to partake in a Spawn HBO Max stream watch? Do you guys want to do that?
Can we confirm that it's on HBO Max before we start telling people? I don't want people signing up for shit.
I'm pretty confident that it is, but yeah, we can confirm that.
Yeah, I'll figure that out. I have to re-download the app. Sorry.
While you take care of that, I'm gonna talk about.
Yeah, let me know why you like this.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about it. So do you mind if I just
go for it? That's fine.
I thought it did its job. It's much less wordy than the main Spawn book. It's like, hey,
It's surprising.
especially when you say it has McFarlane
Additional
in the
dialogue.
credits.
Additional dialogue.
Yeah.
I thought, oh no, here we go.
One thing this book did not need was additional dialogue. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
never the case for Spawn, but go ahead.
I thought it was paced well. I don't really know what's going on, but I think I can gather mostly what's going on. I thought it looked very good. It stuck to what makes Spawn fun: demons and fighting and graphic fighting. Like when that guy gets his jaw punched halfway off. I thought that was all right. I was like, all right. It's kind of what I expect in a Spawn book. I'm sniffing what you're stepping in there. But it was fine. I mean, I don't think it was bad. Does it make me want to read the next issue? I don't know. This kind of felt like the end of an arc for me, and I'm coming in at the end of an arc, so I'm a little lost.
It is the end. Of the arc,
okay.
Yes.
So maybe I can. I'll try 7 because you'll probably force me. But yeah. I mean, it was okay.
So you will not manage to get away from reviewing Spawn on this
probably will not.
podcast. No, there's just too many people that want to hear it for whatever reason. The medic in Twitch chat says, I don't think I've ever seen Spawn myself.
It's not on HBO Max. Only the series is, the animated series.
Oh,
Yeah,
the series is so good too.
I'll figure out where that's streaming, and I'll get back to you.
All right, fair enough. I thought this issue was great. So, first of all, these are all characters who are essential to Spawn's history. Jason Wynn, if you guys watched the Spawn movie, that's oh my God, what is this actor's name? I can't believe I'm blanking. Kale, have you seen the movie?
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Oh, he's such a well-known actor.
A well-known actor in the Spawn movies?
Yeah, his sons are Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen plays the Jason.
Spawn?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Martin
boy.
Sheen plays
Yeah.
the Jason
Wow.
Wynn character from this comic book who's beating the shit out of Spawn. That's Martin Sheen in the movie, if you can believe that.
Shit, how the fuck old is this movie?
I mean,
I think I just hurt myself.
so all the Jason Wynn stuff is really cool. The fact that he's got a super suit and he came to add himself into things is awesome. Kincaid, we saw earlier in the series, he got his ass beat by Spawn. I had my jaw on the ground at this splash.
Like that guy.
That I'm holding up right now for YouTube. And for you guys on audio, it is a giant, nasty bug demon monster with 9 eyes, a massive wide jaw with so many teeth in it. I'm counting at least 4 arms and many tentacles. It is a masterwork
I like how
of horror.
How your enjoyment on this depends on the amount of body parts.
So
how are we going to tie that now into my fetishes, Tyler?
I'm
Just
not.
like Wolverine's penis.
I'm saying you're burying the lead here, where that it's a vertical splash page.
It is a vertical splash
Which I don't think
page,
you
which
see
is
often.
awesome.
Pain in the ass to read digitally, especially when you don't have orientation lock on. Not fun.
I had to. Yeah, I
I
had
was
to
like,
lock it. Yeah.
Shit.
Yet another W for the physical readers. Love to see it. So an amazing splash page, a vertical one, as Tyler pointed out, and just awesome fight scenes. This was nonstop fighting, and Javier has not had the chance to really just go off, and he finally did, and it's beautiful. Like, there were times when I was like, holy shit. When oh God, I'm blanking on his name, but when the dude gets punched in his face, and Terry, thank you. Yeah. When Terry gets punched in his face and his jaw gets dislocated, that crazy explosion, just so many cool moments. Spawn with his face burning off or whatever. This was just a beautiful comic. And I think this is what a lot of people who neg Spawn worry that this is what it is, right?
I feel like people who read Spawn know all about negging. Like
people who read Spawn know all about negging, but people who neg Spawn say, "Oh, it's grimdark and it's just ultra violent and disgusting." And brutal.
Grimdark is a Spawn character, I believe.
I think you're right. This is exactly that, but it's so good. If you love Spawn, this is your dream comic.
I think what you're describing is what the build up to this issue was, with all like the dead kids and
yeah.
Like this to me is like good, tasteful Spawn.
Tasteful Spawn. All right.
Interesting.
Update: Spawn's on Netflix.
There you go.
Netflix US. I don't know where you may be. So it is accessible by most, I would say.
I'm just in England, man. Can't you like?
That's
every week
far
with
away.
this.
That's a whole ocean away.
It's America. It's Diet America. Like every week with this. It's not hard.
Oh, I know you guys have to. Oh, you could use a proxy, a VPN. You could do that to view it. I don't know if it's on there.
Listen,
on your Netflix.
Hey, Tyler, don't worry about me.
Okay, all right.
I've got this under control.
Okay, all right, I got
Do you?
Well,
it depends on what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can watch King of the Hill, all right?
The medic says, sounds like my ex-wife, which I'm going to assume is in reference to my description of the demon from this comic book.
I'd say,
and
should have kept that one going.
Specifically popped up right after your description of the extra body parts.
Hey, you know what? I feel like a lot of us could pick out demonic drawings from Spawn comics and tether those to people who we no longer have relationships with, and some that we do. So thank you to Todd. I mean, listen, it's reality. If we were having this conversation however long ago, the medic would have been in our Twitch chat saying, sounds like my wife. So there you go.
Subtweet if I ever heard one.
Got a point.
That's right. So thank you to Todd McFarlane for creating a series in which we can work out our demons, exercise our demons.
Go to therapy. Okay, here we go. All Spawn fans, go to therapy.
I've been to therapy and I've read Spawn. One of those helped me, and one of those was really expensive.
I mean, with all these variants and all these issues,
still going.
And there are a lot of Spawn comics, and they are pricey. Listen, man, we can have both. Why can't we have both?
Therapy and Spawn, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. I'd buy the comic where Spawn goes to therapy. He's going to need it after all this crazy shit he's dealing with.
I mean, that'll probably happen in the main Spawn book. There's enough dialogue boxes for that. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
It's the bottle episode of just Spawn in therapy.
I said it already. This was my pick of the week.
Wild.
I thought this comic book was really, really great.
Wild.
Why is that wild?
I'm just wild that there has been a Spawn book that's been the pick of the week so far. Has that happened before? Have we?
Yeah, when we were doing the Image comic reviews.
Okay.
Yes.
Fuck, you know what?
Oh, don't do it to me, Cal.
Say it.
Oh, no.
Say it. Let's go. Let's go. This is the first time that a Spawn book has been the majority pick of the week. Let's go. Praise Spawn.
I think King Spawn is King of the Week.
There you go.
So, since it's three people here, does that mean majority rules, and you would say King Spawn is the Comics Pals pick of the week?
Yeah.
All right. She-Hulk, guys.
Let's go.
She-Hulk.
King Spawn is the book of the week. That's the title. King Spawn, King of the Week.
If you want that SEO, yeah, that's the title. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's why we review these comics. It's just a happenstance that they're good. We have sat through many bad Spawn comic books at this point to get to this gem. Thank you to Sean Lewis, who I have always believed in as the best writer so far of Spawn, to deliver a gem. And when I say so far, I mean just like in the time that we've been reading this.
Love to see some Sean solidarity there. That's good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I support all Seans. I'm rooting for them all. So thank you, Sean Lewis. I say pick this up. If you are a Spawn fan, there's a lot to love here. If you're not, I think that the Spawn books are, it depends on who you are as a person, because they get really dark. In like issue 2 of this, there's a mass murder that sees a lot of children die. So if you can't stomach that, which is okay if you can't, I would not buy this. But if you can, pick this up or get the trade, whatever your fancy. This is the good stuff. We already did comics tag.
Comics movie tag. Oof.
Comics movie tag, breaking the rules a little bit, but
I don't know if I mentioned on the show. I do not like clowns. I have a phobia.
Yeah. We heard you. You can get in line with Sean's fetishes. It's fine.
It's I believe pronounced colorophobia. It's an actual thing. I had a panic attack in England once because I walked into a mall looking for actual good food from a Pizza Hut, and I heard the sound of twisting. Yeah, I know. I couldn't even understand the guy. It was weird. And the twisting of balloons, I heard that, and I like froze up. It was like the first panic attack I ever had because I saw a clown.
Okay, so we just learned 2 critical things about you. Three.
Okay.
One is that you think that Pizza Hut is, the epitome of good pizza.
I'm just saying, I was in the like England for like a couple days, and I was a little picky at the time, so
To be fair, in England, Pizza Hut is the best pizza, and that is saying something.
That's rough. The second thing is that you have a fear of clowns, and then the third thing is that you have had more than one panic attack.
Oh yeah. Therapy,
all right,
guys. That's why I was mentioning therapy for all the Spawn readers out there. It works.
Who hasn't had more than one panic attack?
If you have one, you definitely have more than one.
Doing this show.
That's how you do vocal warm-ups, right? Isn't it just a panic attack?
I think I watched Kale have a panic attack once. Didn't you do an interview for us at a Comic-Con at some point while you were still here?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was a moment where you just like kind of lost
during the interview. Who was it for?
Who was it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Who would cause you to have a panic attack?
Just not the person, just the environment.
Well, that'll be me on our first interview. All right.
It's coming soon.
That's why I left the country, so I wouldn't have to do that shit anymore.
The medic said, "Do you think that the Avengers have a psychiatrist just on standby?"
Gotta be.
Well, wouldn't that be like Heroes in Crisis-esque? We saw how that turned out. Just insert, Captain America where Superman was, or whatever, Daredevil where Batman was.
Yeah, I say no because they're all still running around in their stupid pajamas. So
it's true.
Of course, there's no psychiatrist there.
Does Night Nurse count?
The Avengers had Doc Samson for a bit.
Doc Samson, that's a great call
and then
out.
Trauma during Avengers Initiative, which was Nightmare's son.
Doc Samson's a little sus to me. I don't know.
He's a Sasquatch now.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah. I don't trust Doc Samson. I don't think anyone should.
There is something very just weird about him.
Yeah.
You know what? I've never put words to that feeling, but I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I think that was explored at some point, but I can't remember when. I think Immortal Hulk has a little bit of that. The medic said, "What? There can't be a super psychiatrist?" Well, Doc Samson is that for sure.
Yeah.
And there probably have been others at some point, but these people definitely need some help. I completely agree with that. So let's get into the Pals polls since we already did the comics tag. By the way, if you want to be tagged by us, we can definitely do that. And if you want to tag us, write to us at thecomicspals@gmail.com or leave us a comment wherever it is that you can, and we will definitely respond. If you tag one of us, whenever the next episode is, we will be back with a response to your tag, and we will tag you back.
Matt says, can't trust anyone on their green hair period.
That's what I'm saying.
That could be. That could be right.
You have experience with that, Matt? I feel like if I ask any question,
don't ask.
Like, do you have experience? Matt will say yes.
Don't ask.
I'm asking. Pals Pulse is the show where we go there.
He does.
So
he does.
All right. So let's find out. It's too late.
Pals Pulls, right? Sean, you want to go first? You have on your Pals Pulls, you have Human Target number 4.
Yeah, Tom King, Greg Smallwood. This book has been phenomenal. Human Target is a huge surprise to me. I thought it would be good, especially coming off of some of Tom King's hits of late. Rorschach was a hit. Strange Adventures was a hit. The Human Target might be the best one yet as far as the starting point. I think 4 issues deep, it's beating Strange Adventures out by a mile to me. And I think it's also beating Rorschach out, just in terms of how much I'm enjoying it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the craftsmanship involved, it's just beautiful. I mean, and all the books are beautiful, but I just think this has been particularly special.
That Smallwood art, man.
Yep.
So good.
Greg Smallwood delivering.
And you also have, which I'm pretty sure is on most of our picks of the week, Saga 55, The Return.
Yeah. Yep. BKV, Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples. It's been a long time. I think it's been like 3 years or 5 years, something like that. Or it might even be 7. It might be longer. It's been a really, really long time, guys, since Saga went on hiatus. Wow. It's finally coming back next week. We have a book club lined up to coincide with that. Our Saga book club of the first 54 issues will be out on Tuesday. Saga will be out on Wednesday. So
Marco's plane actually gets here.
Yeah, it's literally all riding on whether or not Marco makes it back in time. So, I don't know if you fly JetBlue, but if you don't, I'm saying prayers for you, my friend. Saga's amazing. I can't wait to see what this creative team has in store for us for the next half of the series, and I'm excited to be a part of that journey.
So for me, I would put Saga on there, but instead I put Devil's Reign number 3 of 6. It's Chip Zdarsky doing some good ground level Daredevil superhero stuff. It's like the tasty bits of Civil War in book form, and I'm really enjoying it.
Okay.
And the cover's got the nice Luke Cage, who should have an ongoing currently, and Jessica Jones, who should also have an ongoing currently, front and center on that book. So we'll finally get to see what's going on with those guys. And I also have Peacemaker, Disturbing the Peace number 1. An actual new Peacemaker book, Sean.
Not a Peacemaker 01?
Yeah, not Peacekeeper.
Peacekeeper, rather.
This is actually written by Garth Ennis with art by Gary Brown. So it's
what?
Garth Ennis doing Peacemaker, which is it was kind of wild, because that's the kind of character I can see Ennis doing in a really fucked up way. So I'm excited for that.
Wow.
Kale, you had Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, so this is the beginning of one of my favorite arcs of Usagi Yojimbo, the Dragon Bellows conspiracy, and it follows some of the early adventures of Yojimbo, and this particular issue is probably my favorite story. So Usagi is tasked with retrieving a dead samurai sword from his family, his wife, somehow or another. But there's something weird about it, and it's good. These are the color reproductions.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Yeah.
Yeah. These are the colored reproductions of the original books. I've never denied it. Nobody's ever asked.
That's in reference to somebody questioning if Kale's a furry, so nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Wait, so is that confirmation?
No, that was neither.
All right, so you said no one's ever asked. I'm asking you, are you a furry, Kale?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I'll make some fan art of you.
Damn it. I should have found a way to to make a game out of getting that information out of you.
Oh,
that's very interesting. I will keep that in my back pocket, and I never again want to be targeted about my love of cheetah. My love of cheetah has nothing to do with me being a furry. I'm not a furry. I'm denying that outright, but I do love furry.
Got him.
I do love furry.
I do love
he
cheetah.
He just said, I do love furry.
I love cheetah.
I do love furry. Sounds like you need to get some peace within yourself.
I'm good with it. I love cheetah and tiger, but I'm not a furry. Carry on.
And
that's it.
Kale, you also had Made in Korea, the volume 1, I believe, right? Or is it? I haven't read this. I know it was in your guys' pretty much books of the year, pretty much for most of you guys. Yeah. Is this the entirety of it?
Yeah.
Or is this volume 1?
That's the whole deal.
Moment, I don't. Yeah, they the second volume hasn't been confirmed yet that we know of. As of the last time we spoke to Jeremy Holt, Made in Korea is about an android who develops personality.
So Marco.
Yeah. And they get caught up in a school shooting.
Oh, you're giving so much data, bro.
I feel like I'm not giving anything. And then they're, and then they develop in a really, really cool way.
Okay.
So
I'm probably going to pick this up. I've only heard good things about this.
It's very good. Yeah, it's very good. If you liked Alex and Ada from Image,
I have that. Yep.
15,000 years ago, you'll love Made in Korea.
I will be going physically to a comic book shop next week, so maybe I'll pick this up.
What?
Yeah.
It's Saga. I have to. I have every issue.
Man.
I can't not.
Good. We're going to talk about that a little more in the main show this week, which you can tune into live on Saturday morning at 10 in the morning. If you are an early riser, make your Saturdays a Comics Pals day. Come hang out with us as we discuss all the huge news that has broken out this week. It's been a week already. We got a Moon Knight
today only. Like
it's been an unbelievable week, and it's only Wednesday. I can't even imagine what Friday is going to look like. But you will hear us dissect every single ounce of that this Saturday morning. Let us know in the comments or before you leave us on Twitch what books you're looking forward to from next week. What is on your pull pile coming up next week or this week if you haven't made it to the comic shop. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We always appreciate you coming on board and watching us live or listening to us on a podcast hosting platform or over on YouTube, where you have left us a ton of comments. If you're still waiting for us to respond to those, we will do that on this week's main show. Stay tuned for our Saga Book Club, which drops this Tuesday, and all of the awesome content that we're putting out every single week for you guys. That is going to close out the show for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. For them, I am Sean saying until next week, take care, guys.
See you guys.
See you next week.